Hey everybody, here I am back again another day. Been a lot going on up here, you know. This breakthrough yesterday, and I'm still kind of letting everything catch up to it. I kind of have an idea of some of the things I want to talk about here today, but it's kind of hard to. There's been a lot of mixed messages going on with me. One of the hardest things that I had to realize when I was, at the bottom of this pit was that no one is coming to save me. Not because they don't want to, but because even the ones that want to, don't know how. And that realization, kind of kicked me and said, okay, well, then that means it's up to you. So, one of the most both terrifying and empowering things that I have ever done in my life is to sit down with myself and pick myself apart and examine myself and study myself. To ask myself where certain thoughts originated from. Were they really my own, or were they something I picked up somewhere and just filed them away inaccurately? Like I was saying the other day, you want to have a very healthy inner child with you for this process, and their sole job is to be annoying and ask why. Every answer you get, ask another question. Go deep. You have to pick out the things that don't serve you. The things that when you come across them, they give you a shiver, like, no, that's doesn't seem right. That's, you'll get a vibe from it. And then once you find it, you have to correct it. And a lot of that is habit. You have to teach yourself good habits. I think one of the other tools that I have that has been a huge help in this battle is, I was raised Methodist Christian. Like, I was heavy into the church in my younger years. And, they always had this thing where they taught you an attitude of gratitude. And, every day you start your day and you just think of a few things that you're thankful for. And I've kind of toned it down a little in a way, because usually it's like, hey, think of three things, do it a couple times a day. For me, it's you only have to think of one thing, and it's whenever you're on that verge, when you're in that mode and you feel that stinking thinking coming. And it's hard to do, very hard to do, because with this disease, you're not thankful for really anything. There's that feeling of hopelessness, and I'm getting tired of feeling that way. And one of the things they tell you is to be very careful with somebody that has depression if they say they're tired. I've been tired for a while and I'm still going. So there's truth to that. It's a warning sign, but I don't know. I guess I have a pretty good support system, so I'm very thankful for that. I have a family that just doesn't, they don't give up. And I think that's, one of the driving factors as to why I don't. But as I spent this time rebuilding myself, I mean, again, it's been so hard to do. I've had to face a lot of rough truths about myself, and I've had to correct a lot of things. And it's a never ending process because, again, there is that we live in a world where a lot of it is just indoctrinated into, like, they get us early and it's repetition and it gets in. And we treat it as truth, but it's not truth. And that's what messes us up. That's what gets us to this point. That's what activates. You keep trying to be something that you're not meant to be. And these are the things that you're rebelling against. So you have to find them and you have to correct them. I am constantly thinking, analyzing, breaking things down. I try to slow myself down, slow my reaction time. You want to do that intentionally, although I highly recommend staying as far away from substances as possible. You might think that's the way to do it, but some things are good, most things just don't go near. I've been in the rooms. I've seen the wreckage. And if you're already trying to battle this disease, don't add addiction to it if you don't already. And a lot of people, sometimes it's the other way. It's the addiction has been there for years and the depression comes after. It's a very difficult comorbidity to overcome. You have to part of the depression is that emptiness, that void, that feeling that something is missing. And in this study of myself, I realized, again, no one is coming to save me. I have to save myself. So that pit, that thing that's missing, I have to become that. I have to, embody whatever that is. Sometimes it's peace, sometimes it's love, sometimes it's joy, most times it's hope. That's what I focus on most, is hope. Because if you have hope, the rest will come. But without hope, nothing can last. And again, that's something the disease robs you of, is your hope. I'm still trying to find it, and I can feel myself getting closer to it, but it's an ongoing process. But yeah, if you genuinely, want a chance at winning this battle, you have to dig deep and find discipline. Your routine. You have to force yourself to take care of yourself. You don't have to do it on a regular schedule, because I get it. It's hard with the disease. But nothing of this disease is a free pass. That's part of the accountability. Obviously you do have to kind of take it a bit easier on yourself. I speak roughly normally. I'm usually very blunt. I don't pull a lot of punches. Large portion of my life was like self-deprecation. Like, I always talked down to myself, and I had to stop that. Like, that was one of the hardest things in mindfulness, was to catch myself and stop talking down to myself, because your brain will believe what you tell it. So you have to be very cautious. And again, part of the disease is your brain is constantly telling you, bad things about yourself. So you have to combat that. For me, again, I said it the other day, the thing that I know makes me a good person is that despite all the pain, the hardship, everything, I've never let it go against my core. I one of the reasons for this exploration of yourself is so that you can know who you are, because again, that is one of the biggest triggers of depression, is the fact that you're trying to play a character that you are not the actor for. And you get so locked into that personality that you think it's you, but it's not. And you're playing this wrong character, and the depression is your warning sign. Hey, something's off here. And it wreaks havoc on you. So you have to come to grips with who you are. And, one of my, uplifting motivational things that I say a lot is every day you open your eyes, you automatically are given two gifts, a chance and a choice. And that choice is yours to make. That is what this disease is trying to take away from you, is that choice. And if you don't make it for yourself, it'll make it for you. So again, it's that I wish that I had the words that I could explain. I study myself a lot, so I can explain a lot of the things that I discover. But one thing that I don't know where it comes from. I take it from everywhere, wherever I have to. But that energy to just make myself hold on, at the end of the day, the best thing for your health, the best thing to get you through it is to make yourself, even if it's baby steps forward, momentum is absolutely necessary. You don't have to give 110% all the time. That's one of the lies that this world will tell you. No, because you have to save some for when you feel like you're out. Like that's one of the reasons a lot of these tactics work, is because we're constantly tired, because we're constantly, going against our own intuition, because we're all in survival mode. You have to force yourself. You have to plant your feet firm and say, no, I need rest. But when you rest, you're not just sitting there wallowing. You have to focus. You have to do the work. It's not going to change if you don't. I am 100%, like I was just talking about, I don't know where it comes from, but I know that if I have not been doing this part, I would not be here now. Like that is probably the biggest thing, the biggest help. So yeah, I see I'm getting close to my time, and I know the last couple of days I've kind of ran over, so, but that's what I got for you today. You're already in a hole. So when I say the words dig deep, it sounds hard, but it's really not. It's just find the energy to reach down and touch your toes at some point when you're at that low point. Don't think of it as, harder than it needs to be, but you have to realize it for what it is. And again, the disease is constantly trying to trick you into not seeing it for what it is. So just be careful with that. Keep coming back. Catch you in the next one.